This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour.
Okay. So this is inside the cannabis factory. Everything's still open. There's still leads coming from the street, from the ceiling. And it shows evidence of cannabis being grown here. I'm going to take a quick move through here because we probably shouldn't be in here. But you know I like to get you guys the footage. Let's have a look. Yep, we got ducts in there. Dozens of different ducts that are going up into the ceiling to the next floor. I got your back and where's that coming from? Oh yeah, you're careful, you don't know what the fucking sludgy shit that is. Yeah, just
Stairs up here, look.
Is there? Stairs looking safe?
Yeah, there's concrete.
Okay guys.
Oh shit, you see everything here?
We're gonna have a little butchers for you. See what we can see. Oh, here's the ducting running up through the stairs. So obviously police have basically charged 3 immigrants with no documentation with this. So they're basically saying these guys came here and managed to set this up, which seems a bit ridiculous in my opinion, because this would be a very hard setup to do. Everything's going through to there, so there must be a way around. Careful, watch your feet in, lad. Watch your footings. Because I've nearly fell through floors. Check your step every time.
This goes down there.
Okay, see that hole in the floor? There's some outside there. Hole in the floor there. This is how we move. Scarcity, bringing you the exclusives.
Watch that step in.
Thank you, brother. You see that? Always check your stepping, because you never know. It's not spiders you need to worry about. It's falling through 2 stories. Okay. We're trying to locate where these leads are going. This floor feels booky. Alright, we've got set back at the front, but this is the 2nd floor. So they've fully cleared this out to make sure there's no evidence left or residue apart from the tubing. This is just another back entrance. This is like a really bad condition place. I know the police would have mashed this up, but this would have been a... What are you saying up here, bro? You want to do this one? There's another one here, bro. What are you saying?
I really appreciate you joining me today and I hope everyone's had a good weekend. I was having a day off today, spending it with family, but tonight a story broke and I had to turn up and go out to get you the coverage from the scene. This is a £3 million cannabis factory. 3,112 plants were found by West Midlands Police in a raid on the 6th of January. Regular viewers of the channel will remember that I covered a £3 million cannabis factory in West Bromwich area, and I find these sorts of cultivations very interesting due to how big they are, the sophisticated nature of them, and also the fact that there's rarely anybody ever caught when they are raided. So when you go there, there is literally usually nothing and no one gets arrested. But in this case, they've arrested 3 men and they've also charged them and they've appeared in court. And there's elements of this story that I want to discuss to do with them men in a minute as well. Police said in a statement they recovered a massive cannabis factory that they suspect is linked to organised crime. And this was in a disused warehouse in the Birmingham city centre area. Police forced entry to the unit in Bradford Street at 9:45 AM and found a cannabis factory across 3 stories. So this is an industrial setup. Over 3,000 plants were recovered and police value each plant at 1,000 street value. They said it's one of the biggest they've discovered in recent months, and 3 Vietnamese men who were in the country illegally were arrested at the premises and later charged with cannabis cultivation. They are aged 26, 36 and also 36, and they will appear at Birmingham Magistrates Court in connection with the find. They also noted that they found an electricity supply that had been bypassed, an extensive lighting and extraction system. There was a trench dug in the road to tap into the mains, and the cannabis disposal team manager Mike Hall said this was a very extensive setup and not the biggest we've encountered, but certainly up there in terms of scale.
So this is outside of the £3 million cannabis factory in Bradford Street in Birmingham. and the levels that the police went to, and I've just shown you inside because they're still accessible, and the mains that was dug up on the road. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this story. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow me online as well at Scarcity Studios and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and TikTok. I hope everyone has a good day. Peace.
So they don't give an address in relation to this, and there was only one picture and short bit of drone footage that they released. So I decided to go down to the scene to try to see what was going on and see if there was anything left over. Last time I got lucky, the security guards were reasonable and they allowed me to have a look around. But this time there was nobody there. I managed to stumble across it because I noticed that there was roadworks in the middle of the street, and that is when I found the road had been dug up, and that is where they jumped the electrics into the national grid. And upon finding the building on Bradford Street, it was still open, it was still smashed up, and you could still get into the property without breaking in. So I chose to go and film a little footage and be able to try to get an idea of what it was like in there. And the first thing I must say is that it was absolutely disgusting. The conditions in there were some of the worst that I've ever seen in any cannabis factory. And the fact that some people were forced to stay in there is actually disgusting. And I know a lot of people watch the channel, of course, people potentially still involved in things on road. And I want to just say to people, if this is what you're doing, please at least have some decency and respect for your fellow human beings. The conditions and also the quality of the cannabis as well. There was actually bird shit all over this place, like everywhere covered in bird shit. The windows were smashed, and they wondered why somebody noticed that there was an industrial growing there. Of course, the main tents would have been covered, but the venting and the ducting ran throughout it as well. There was literally dozens of different ducts that winded up the staircases to fill all the different rooms that they must have filled with cannabis.
When that happens.
Yo, Scarcity inside the £3 million grow after the police have just cleared it out. I'm gonna show you the tubing that's running down the staircase and the levels that this was at, the industrial scale that this was.
How the fuck do you get down there?
Yeah, so basically police have cleared this out. There's 3,000 plants here. Several Vietnamese men have been arrested and charged and appeared in court. They're basically accusing them of doing all of this on their own. The conditions in here are fucking terrible. The flooring is dilapidated. Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff here, but you can see the levels and the amount of rooms that they had used to. And police are saying
Must be an entrance at the other side.
that this was yeah, 100% there's got to be.
This is the way we came through. It must be that.
And this is the main entrance that we came in. This is already open, like we haven't broken in. This is already open. I'm just documenting this for historical purposes. This staircase is very rickety. Which way did we went up that way, innit, bro? No, yeah, but I'm saying like the way we've been. So obviously this is where the ducting starts and goes up. This is absolutely horrendous conditions. Can you imagine the terrible quality of cannabis that would have been grown in here, that people would be smoking? And if you can hear that, there's still water leaking.
This is the fucking
Yeah, they've got like MDF batteries. This would have been £200 million worth of Stardog, and it could have poisoned people. Like, this would have been horrendous stuff.
So there is so many different things, this story, and nobody from mainstream media or even the Birmingham Mail bothered to go there to see if there was anything about this story that was interesting. And as I said about the 3 people that was arrested, they said that they're illegal immigrants. So what they're basically saying is these men recently potentially came to the country and managed to get together tens of thousands of pounds, also have the capabilities of accessing underground electricity, be able to bypass it. And to me, this just seems ridiculous. I can't see how this is actually possible, that these 3 men are responsible for this. And everybody is aware about modern slavery and a massive increase. And also awareness has been raised about modern slavery. And I'm very confused as to why these men, if these are the conditions they were staying in, have been arrested as the kingpins of this operation. And I'm worried that they're being scapegoated for somebody else. At the end of the day, if they are not responsible for setting it up, and if they are just watering the plants, then they are not the main people to be looking at. So if anybody does know of any lawyers or anybody that can potentially help these people to give them the right advice, because I believe that this is not correct, and I think that these men are actually victims of slavery. And the reason I bring this up as well is because there was a story on the 31st of December where a man in Clapton in East London was actually found dead inside a garage lockup in Southwold Road. And there was a cannabis factory inside. This man was an Albanian national named Ermal Kos, and he was 33 years old, and he had a family back home as well. Several people have been arrested for that case, and officers returned to the scene of the crime, they said in a report, and a week after the fire, to try to find out the full circumstances of the death. And this has been repeated across the country as well. In Dudley, there was a man that actually, an Albanian national also, who burnt alive inside a factory. And there has to come a time when you question as to whether this is something that you want to condone or approve of as well. Like, to have people growing cannabis in these conditions and potentially killing people just so you can grow some weed. And if anything, this is another factor as to why they should legalise certain elements of drugs and also cannabis cultivation and also consumption, because this would remove the organised crime gang elements if people were able to just legally grow it themselves. And also to remove the risk of the horrendous conditions that these cannabis plants were actually grown in as well. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this story. I really appreciate all your support, and I'll definitely be back with some more news very shortly. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow me online as well at Scarcity Studios. Peace.